Hi friends, I'm Bryn.
I'm Jessica.
And this is Friends Who Crime.
Friends Who Crime.
What y'all think of that bonus mini episode last week? Were you surprised? I hope y'all enjoyed it. As always, make sure you give the podcast a 5-star rating and turn on auto downloads. It really helps the podcast. Takes like 10 seconds, especially as we're growing. That's going to be super important, so thank you so much. Speaking of which, hello to all the new listeners out there. I'm really glad you're here and that you found me. My guest this week is my lovely sister-in-law, Jessica.
Woohoo!
So Jessica, tell us a little bit about you.
I'm 30 years old.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids. I'm obviously Bryn's sister-in-law, so I'm married to her brother. And we live in Dallas. And yeah.
2 adorable children, by the
2
way.
adorable children. Yes.
I'm a little biased, but they are 2 of the cutest kids I've ever met in my life. What is your relationship with true crime? What does that look like in your life?
Well, 10 years ago, when Blaine and I first got married, I had a very long commute to work and was having to go to Cedar Park from William Cannon down in South Austin. And I actually would turn on Crime Junkie episodes to binge listen to on my way to and from work. And yeah, ever since then, I have tried to really find good, like, true crime podcasts. Obviously, documentaries. I love them. But yeah, I love true crime.
Yes. You are in the right place then. And I hope that this podcast will one day become your car podcast. My interruption today is about cucumbers. You guys all remember my dad from episode 17. He has a garden in his backyard where he grows like green beans, jalapenos, tomatoes, and a few other things. But most importantly, cucumbers. He can't consume as many as he grows. So he gave me this giant bag of cucumbers the other day. And of course, like, I can't consume that many cucumbers either. So I took them to work and I gave cucumbers to anyone who would accept one. And I felt like a really healthy Santa Claus being like, do you want a cucumber? Do you like cucumbers? Here's a cucumber.
A cucumber dealer.
Yes, and they've been calling me cucumber lady at work. And I don't mind it either. Like, honestly, I could be so many worse things. So cucumber lady, I will accept. All right, are you ready to dive into this case, Jessica?
I am so ready.
All right. Today we are tackling a case that's a doozy, to say the least. It's got all the hallmarks of a classic, almost noir-esque true crime, but a high level of brutality. And honestly, like, baffling ineptitude.
I'm so ready for this.
We are talking about the murder of Dorothy Eggers. This episode is going to take us on quite a journey, and trust me, you'll be shaking your head at some of the choices that are made here. Really quick trigger warning, this does have pretty graphic imagery, so if you're not into it, that's totally fine. Wait for the next episode, but if you are into it, this is going to be fun. Imagine a body found in the mountains so horrifically mutilated that identification seems impossible. Now imagine the killer is so unbelievably bad at covering his tracks. It's almost like he wanted to be caught.
I was gonna say, does he want to be found?
This isn't just a story about crime, it's kind of a masterclass in how not to get away with murder. Brought to you by a guy who really, really thought he was smarter than everyone else. And spoiler alert, he was not. So grab your favorite comfort beverage, maybe a weighted blanket, and prepare to be equal parts horrified and flabbergasted. Let's get into it. Our story begins in the mid-1940s, specifically December 1945 in Temple City, California. We are focusing on Arthur Eggers, a 52-year-old man who, on the surface, seemed like the last person you'd expect to be at the center of a gruesome murder. He was a sworn deputy sheriff, but not exactly a tough guy. He worked as a desk clerk.
Okay.
So
not really a cop.
Right. He worked at Temple City substation. So just working the desk. So
not really a cop.
Correct. Now, according to various reports, Arthur was perceived by many as a, quote, meek little man. Someone who possessed an inordinate amount of patience and was intimidated by his own shadow. Sounds like a real firecracker, in my opinion. This public perception of Arthur paints a picture of a passive, almost timid individual, kind of to himself, kind of a pushover. Mm-hmm. However, the unfolding events of this case reveal a contradiction between his outwardly mild-mannered persona and the brutal actions he would commit. This dramatic shift from meekness to extreme violence sort of suggests this deep, long-repressed rage or a severe psychological breaking point. It makes you wonder if this quiet demeanor was a carefully constructed facade, or if years and years of internal turmoil finally erupted into an unexpected, terrifying situation. I've said this before, but it's like a pressure cooker.
Oh, yeah.
The anger builds up over time until it just has to explode. Yeah.
It has to go somewhere.
But here's the kicker. He was also described as being, quote, dominated by his wife, Dorothy. Let's talk about Dorothy. The accounts describe her as someone who had taunted her mild-mannered husband with ribald, which I did not know what ribald meant. It means referring to sexual acts in like an irreverent, amusing, casual way. So, taunted her mild-mannered husband with ribald tales of hitchhiking and picking up truckers.
Ew.
It's like she was actively trying to get a rise out of him.
Ew.
Neighbors apparently recalled Dorothy having an unseemingly number of male callers, and these rumors of her infidelities had been swirling around. Arthur definitely heard these rumors for a very long time. It's important to say that these descriptions of Dorothy's alleged promiscuity and taunting largely stem from Arthur's own claims or gossip from the neighbors.
Of course.
So this is all alleged.
Yes. The town gossip.
Yes. The drama. This perspective coming from the alleged perpetrator and those around him might not paint the complete or objective factual picture of Dorothy's character or her life. It's important to remember that these are claims made in the context of a murder and they could be biased. I've said this before. Something like an action that's totally normal out of this context, people will look back in retrospect and be like, oh, well, that was totally a sign. Yeah. So that could be part of the situation here as well. The sources say Arthur would often, quote, visualize Dorothy at a truck stop in the arms of the sweaty antithesis. Yes. Of himself. So he would see like the complete opposite of him and his.
It's like this big, strong, buff guy who's assertive and dominant.
Yes. And
that type of guy.
That's what he would visualize Dorothy being with.
Instead of changing himself to
be
that type of person.
I mean, It's an image that understandably would drive someone crazy, like completely mad.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
It seems like this discord in their marriage wasn't a sudden thing. It was like a slow burn, years and years of this, fueled by taunts and rumors. The pressure was building up after all these years of dealing with this. That's my theory anyway. So the stage is set for tragedy. The breaking point arrived on December 28th, 1945. Arthur, the little meek desk clerk, came home from work around 1 a.m., a late shift, I assume, at the substation. And what does he see? A dark figure, a man, exiting the back door of his home.
That's sketch already.
A huge gut punch, too. Dorothy is home, and he's seeing this man yeet out of there.
Yeah.
As soon as he's walking through the door.
From his desk job.
Right.
At 1 a.m.
Right.
At the police station.
Right. All those things accumulated in this one moment. He walks inside, and there's Dorothy, his wife, completely naked.
I was gonna say, was she naked?
Yes. You clocked that one. She's absolutely naked. Arthur says, "What the fuck?" accusing her of having an affair based on what he
Naturally,
just saw.
She's naked.
Valid.
Yes.
A valid accusation. And this is where things kind of take a turn. Instead of being remorseful or denying it, Arthur later claimed Dorothy laughed at him. And
I mean, that doesn't surprise me, given the rumored drama of her having all these affairs.
Yeah.
If she doesn't care, I can see her being like, so what?
Which is basically what she did.
Yeah.
She allegedly said, if I was having an affair, what was he going to do about it? And that is provoking for a man.
Naturally.
Yeah. But, he's meek. He's simmering on all this resentment. She says this, and it's kind of pouring gasoline on the fire. What he did about it was horrific. In a blind rage, Arthur grabbed a gun and shot her twice. The body, later identified as Dorothy, had 2 bullet wounds, one of which penetrated the heart and caused death. So she was dead, but he wasn't done.
Oh no.
In that same blind rage, he then did something truly unspeakable. He cut off her hands and her head. Yuck. So this wasn't just a murder, this was an act of depersonalization, trying to erase her identity. And it went from a verbal fight to lethal and disgusting so fast, within minutes. He had what I think is a complete psychological breakdown.
Yeah.
Severing the head and hands goes beyond ending a life. It was an attempt to destroy any recognizable trace of Dorothy. He wanted to annihilate the power that she had over him for the majority of their marriage. After this absolutely monstrous act, he wrapped his dead wife's body in a blanket and drove it out to an incredibly scenic but forever tainted rim of the world highway in the San Bernardino Mountains. There, he dumped her body, but her head and hands were discarded somewhere along the way, and they were never found. Just gone.
Okay. That's not creepy.
Are you sure?
Or weird.
Just a little. He chose to dispose of her in such a beautiful, public, yet remote location. It's almost ironic in a way. It probably felt secluded, but was still accessible enough for hikers to find rather quickly, as they did in hours. It seems like a panic-driven decision rather than a meticulously planned cover-up, kind of a crime of passion sort of situation.
Which it was. It was definitely not planned. Well, I mean, it seems very unplanned. And so now he is panicking and he just needs to find a place.
Exactly.
And so he's not thinking about who's going to come across this or when.
You'll hear this throughout the story, but he very obviously did not plan for this.
Great.
It's really obvious.
Great.
Now, after committing this unspeakable act, what does Arthur do? He files a missing persons report for Dorothy. But here's where his meek little man facade crumbles and his brain power in general just nosedives. He reports her missing around the same time the corpse was found, but he gets her height off by about 5 inches.
So he doesn't even know, like, how tall his wife is?
Even if he did, he gave the police very wrong information.
Oh my goodness. This dude.
I know. It just gets worse. He claims she, quote, most likely ran off with a truck driver. I mean, come on. Arthur. You just chopped off her head in her hands and you're telling the police, 1, she's taller than she actually is, and 2, she ran off with a trucker. This isn't just a bad lie, it's practically a confession. This immediate inconsistency in his missing person report was the first major red flag, and the police were suspicious from the outset.
Well, of course.
They clocked him.
Duh.
Meanwhile, in January 1946, hikers in a remote area of the San Bernardino Mountains stumble upon a woman's body wrapped in a blanket. Headless, handless. Identification was obviously extremely difficult. They don't have fingerprints. They don't have a face.
The missing persons report is a couple inches off.
You're so right. Oh my gosh. Do you think he took into account, like...
Possibly.
Oh my...
But, like, that would mess with the... Like, that would mess with the investigation.
It definitely
Of, like,
would.
if he put down her wrong height and they're estimating, like, how many inches her head was, like, how tall she was with her head. If he put the wrong height, then she could not, like, match.
Weird. You're so right. Oh
like,
my gosh.
You know, like, that might have been planned. It could have been just stupid, but it might have been a little smart.
That is maybe the first smart thing he did, and it's a dichotomy.
I don't know if it was planned or not, but
yeah.
I mean, it totally could have been used to, like, throw them off.
Oh, definitely.
To, like, match against missing persons. Like, oh, his wife is missing, but she doesn't match the height.
Yeah.
Even though she's missing her head. She probably wouldn't match the height, so, like, this couldn't be her.
Yeah.
It's a theory.
That's a good theory. I'm not going to lie. The body had only been there for less than a day, so there's still hope of identifying this person. When investigators hear about Arthur's missing person report, they decide to follow up, despite his wildly inaccurate description. And this is where the universe throws investigators a lucky break. They talk to Dorothy's doctors and discover she has been treated for a bunion on her foot. Seems like a strange detail to bring up. It is important.
Well, he didn't cut off her feet.
Exactly. And behold, the unidentified body has the exact same bunions.
Of course it does.
Identification confirmed. It's Dorothy Eggers. Who knew bunions could be so crucial to a murder investigation? To me, it reminds me of, like, a really quirky, like, murder mystery show. It's like the bunions. It's been the key all along. It's been right in front of us. And it became a pivotal piece of evidence that allowed the investigators to identify Dorothy. This became a near impossible case to a very solvable one. Even with the body identified and Arthur as their prime suspect, they still needed hard evidence. And Arthur, bless his idiotic heart, provided it himself.
Of course he did.
He happened, finger quotes, he happened to sell his car to a police officer.
Are you serious?
And not just any police officer, but one of the deputies in his own office. Stupid.
No kidding.
And he found, this officer found spots of dried blood in the trunk. And not just any blood, human blood. Which
That's not suspicious at all.
He had the means to test that, right? Because he's a police officer. So it's also confirmed by expert witnesses that this was human blood. And not just in the trunk, but also in some grease on the garage floor and in the bathroom of the Eggers residence. So Arthur's leaving a straight up breadcrumb trail of his own incompetence. It's a blatant error of selling a blood-stained vehicle. So stupid. Especially to a law enforcement colleague. So he obviously has a very profound lack of criminal sophistication, which is what makes me think it's a crime of passion, like not planned. He just has no idea what he's doing, which I am glad he has no idea what he's doing, because
then he can get caught.
He gets caught, but so stupid.
Yes.
And just like a total disregard for like, oh, I could face consequences for this. And it provided tangible physical evidence against him. In 1946, Arthur was arrested. A subsequent search of his home turned up more evidence, and this is absolutely horrifying. But they found pieces of his wife's flesh, a gun, and a handsaw. And on that handsaw, they found pieces of tissue, bone, and fat. Oh, and the saw had his initials, A.E., inscribed into it.
This man got rid of nothing.
Literally.
Like, at all. Didn't get rid of anything.
No idea what he's doing. Absolutely no clue. Investigators also dug holes in his backyard looking for missing body parts, and they believed he tried to burn bones in an incinerator there. The blanket the body was wrapped in was identified as one belonging to Eggers. Terrible, stupid, disgusting. There are no words.
So gross.
Horrifying. The guy just had poor judgment and self-incrimination. He just wasn't as smart as he wanted to be, or as he thought he was. If he even thought he was smart. I don't know.
This is interesting because it's like he thinks that he might be smart, but then he's just so dumb.
Right. Like rookie mistakes.
How could you think that you're smart when you're making such dumb mistakes?
But you'll see here in a minute, he did think he was smarter.
And that is crazy to me.
Yeah. From the wildly inaccurate missing persons report to leaving crucial evidence in plain sight and even selling a blood-stained car to a police officer, his every move seemed to unravel his own defense. He actively sabotaged his own chances of getting away with the crime. Even after all of this, Arthur tried to maintain his innocent, chicken-hearted persona. In an exclusive jailhouse interview with the famous journalist Aggie Underwood, who was a total badass, by the way, and known for getting suspects to like really open up on camera, Arthur swore he was, quote, too chicken-hearted to commit murder. He actually said, quote, I couldn't even kill a rabbit. You dismembered your wife. Not exactly a gentle touch, Arthur.
This man, judgment, non-existent. So bad.
Something's
so
wrong.
bad.
Something's wrong. Aggie Underwood, for context, was a pioneering female crime reporter who saw some really seriously gruesome things and still stood upright when others ran away and weren't willing to cover it or do the research. She was in the front of the line.
I have respect for that.
Badass women.
Yes.
So for Arthur to try that line on her was not only bold, but absolutely pathetic. He's a desperate and very unconvincing liar. So Arthur goes to trial, and his defense, it's a masterclass in I have no idea what I'm talking about. He told the jury his marriage to Dorothy had been completely happy until about 2 years before her death, when she supposedly started, quote, the change of life, and became difficult to get along with. Which, first of all, what the fuck? Who calls menopause the change of life? And those rumors about her picking up men, he said he didn't give it much thought because he trusted her.
I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure your wife is running around and you just trust that she's not.
It's just not. It's not.
No. I mean, I would have questions if anybody was like, oh, your husband was seen talking to this person or doing these things. I'd be like, dude, what the heck? What's going on?
And it seemed like when I was doing my research, it seemed like they never had a conversation about it until the night that he caught her with someone.
Because it's either he doesn't actually care. So he either doesn't actually care and he waited for a time to where it did boil over and he decided to kill her, or he thought he didn't care and then he ended up actually caring and then it built up and he killed her, or I don't know, but that just is, I don't know how you could not have a conversation about it. There's no way.
I agree.
That's so crazy to me. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
It's not believable.
Yeah.
That they didn't have a conversation. There's no way. Unless he was really trying just to cover for this, oh, I'm meek and, nobody pay attention to me, thinking it's not going to build up, and then I guess it does and he kills her. But I don't believe that they didn't have a conversation. That is so outlandish to me.
And the moral of the story here, friends, is don't shove your feelings down. Just feel your feelings and talk to your partner.
Yes. Have the uncomfortable conversation.
And it seems like general knowledge to me, but it's really not.
It's not. People don't have common sense anymore, so.
So then came Arthur's version of the murder. He claims he confronted Dorothy about that old Doc, who, by the way, was never identified. This is the man he thinks he saw running out the back door, Doc. He grabbed a gun, they struggled, fell in the bathroom, and the gun just went off. He only remembers one shot. Then he found himself sitting on the toilet seat, crying and scared. And somehow, somebody else was in that car with him when he has her body in the car, telling him, she's in back. but he couldn't identify this mystery person. Again, finger quotes, mystery person. I personally think that this mystery person was a hallucination. I think he was in psychosis and was seeing things and hearing things.
But also, like, if he reported her missing, is he now all of a sudden like, oh yeah, no, that was just a lie?
Like the missing person's report was a lie?
Yeah, so like in the court, he obviously reported her missing. So now he has to backtrack and be like, oh no, she wasn't actually missing. I knew where she was all along.
And it's pretty damning.
This guy is so stupid.
Yes. In more ways than one. His explanation for not getting a doctor after she was shot, quote, I do not know whether she was hurt badly or hurt at all, but I got an idea she was shot, and the next thing I know, I was in the car. Toddler logic. Like you catch your toddler with their hand in the cookie jar and they're just like, I don't know, I just wanted a cookie. It wasn't me. You said it was okay. And the gun and saw they found at his house, those were, quote, placed there by someone to frame him.
With the blood and bone and all that other stuff.
Correct. Because obviously a random framing party just happened to have a gun that fired the bullets in Dorothy's body and a saw with Arthur's initials and bits of Dorothy in it. It's almost comical if it wasn't so awful.
Yes.
He also tried to sell Dorothy's rings using an assumed name and a fictitious address, claiming he did it because his coworkers were suspicious and he didn't want the rings to implicate him.
He doesn't want the rings to implicate him, but he doesn't care about the saw or the gun or any of those things.
Apparently
it's the rings.
Not.
It's the rings that are going to get him. Not those other things. It's the rings.
The priorities here. And we're not even done yet. And he tried to get Dorothy's niece, Marie, to sign Dorothy's name to car title papers after Dorothy was missing. Marie testified to this, by the way. So he really did try to get her to forge
that part
Dorothy's,
is true.
Yeah. To get Marie to forge Dorothy's signature so he could sell her car, essentially.
And she just went, like, along with it?
She did not do it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Marie, she's a real one.
Okay, so she did not do it.
She was like, that's suspicious.
I was gonna be like, dang.
That's weird.
Who does that? Okay. Makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. But also, like, we talked about this in the beginning. Like, he's trying to erase every part of her. He's getting rid of her wedding ring, his wedding ring, her car, everything. Her head, her hands, everything.
Her body.
Arthur's contradictory and absurd testimony served only to solidify the prosecution's case. His various explanations, from the gun accidentally going off to a mysterious someone else in the car, or the weapons being planted to frame him, demonstrated a man desperately trying to concoct a believable narrative, but failing spectacularly. This self-destructive pattern of lying actively sabotaged his own defense. No rational jury would accept such a convoluted and inconsistent story. The transparency of his lies only showed his guilt and lack of remorse, ultimately contributing to his conviction.
Obviously.
Despite Arthur's bizarre and contradictory testimony, the prosecution had an ironclad case built on physical evidence, hard evidence. Ballistics experts confirmed the bullets in Dorothy's body came from the gun found at Arthur's house.
Which, I'm actually surprised that at that year they could do that.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
It is impressive. So are some of these other things.
Yeah.
I mean, even like the bunions, it's just a really simple but very effective investigation.
For that time period, I'm very impressed.
The blood in the car trunk, garage, and bathroom was human. The saw had human tissue, bone, and fat. The blanket was his. The bunion was hers. It was all there. This case is a prime example of how effective traditional police work in forensic science can be, even without the advanced technologies that we have today. The meticulous collection of physical evidence, from the bunion for identification to blood analysis, ballistics, and the discovery of the murder weapons, provided an undeniable chain of evidence that is directly linked to Arthur. It proves that when a perpetrator leaves a clear trail of evidence, the good investigators, the determined investigators, can bring them to justice. The jury did not buy Arthur's chicken-hearted rabbit story for 1 second. He was convicted of first-degree murder. On October 15th, 1948, Arthur Eggers, the desk clerk who became a monstrous killer, was executed in the gas chamber at San Quentin prison.
Gas chamber?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is the 40s. Gas chamber.
That's crazy.
At least it wasn't the electric chair. I feel like I'd rather die
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I feel like gas chamber, you probably feel like you're suffocating.
That's true.
So would you rather be suffocated or would you rather be burned?
Yeah.
It's kind of, they're both terrible. They're both bad.
Right. Blaine and I were talking about this on the bonus episode because Idaho just made death by firing squad a thing. And we were saying, like, how would we rather die? So let's add these options. We've got lethal injection, firing squad, gas chamber, or electric chair.
I mean, I would rather have the firing squad.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, because it's like instant.
See, that's what
so
people have
versus
been
like
saying.
Lethal injection. I mean, every single one of these, I don't want to suffocate to death in the gas chamber. Electrocution, I feel like you feel like you're burning and it may take a while or multiple times for you to die. And lethal injection doesn't always work and it can take forever.
Yep.
And you like know you're gonna die while they're killing you.
Right.
So like I'd rather just be shot and killed instantly and like not know when it's coming, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Like I would know it's coming obviously, but like you don't know when it's coming.
And I see that argument for firing squad where it's instant.
Yep.
You don't suffer. There's no chance of it going wrong, really. I still think I would pick lethal injection because even though you might be paralyzed, you know, while things are maybe not going as planned, it's still like a more peaceful way to go to me.
I guess.
I don't know.
I feel like being shot is pretty like peaceful. I mean, it doesn't sound peaceful,
right.
but like I feel like it's pretty
just done.
Yeah, like it's over. That's like it's not like drawn out. It's instantaneous. And like that's I mean, to me that's pretty peaceful because it's like it's pretty instantaneous. Like if not instant, like a couple of seconds. Whereas I feel like even with lethal injection, it could be, I mean, it's minutes.
I see the argument. I definitely do. And I'm like slowly being convinced that that's the way to go.
I'm telling you, firing squad. But it's just a very interesting, very interesting take.
It's like there's no wrong answer, right? Like any of those ways, like you're gonna die. I've asked several people this question over the past week, which seems like a really awkward thing. It's like, here's a cucumber. What would you rather?
Yeah. Would you rather die by lethal injection, firing squad, gas chamber, or electric chair?
I'm taking a poll. So
Gas chamber.
Gas chamber.
Okay.
Arthur is executed. Justice in this case was swift and definitive, especially for the era, for the 40s. He probably would have gotten away with it if not for those quote-unquote lucky breaks, but really his
stupidity,
astounding lack of prowess.
I think this man, obviously it was not premeditated at all. If it was very poorly premeditated. Very poorly premeditated. I think that he probably did just boil over and just snapped. And actually at the beginning, whenever you were talking about him and like who he was as a person, what crossed my mind was, oh, I wonder if he had some kind of like personality disorder where it was like you're suppressing like one and you know, or like you disassociate. Like obviously he disassociated like during the crime and like killing his wife, but like the amount of anger and rage that you would have to feel to like not just kill her but like cut her, that doesn't just happen overnight,
right?
Like that's something, and that's like intentional. Like that's not, oh my gosh, I just killed her and it was a mistake, or like I didn't mean to. It's I killed her and now I'm going to take it a step further and I'm going to dismember her. And that is so like evil. It's so evil.
Evil is the right word.
But I'm glad that he was stupid, and I'm glad that he made mistakes and sold his car to a police officer, and I'm glad he was stupid so that way he did get caught and was punished, and he did have to deal with like what he did.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm glad he got caught and was stupid.
It's really like it brings up this question of, can people change? And if yes, how quickly can they change? Like, was this
that's a good question.
Overnight thing? Was this, in one split second he changed? Or was it a long time coming? Or was he concealing it this whole time and it just happened to come out here? Like,
or maybe he was like hoping that nobody would find out like what his wife was doing, and then people did start talking about it, and then that like really started to like, maybe he didn't have an issue with it, but like then he did start to have an issue with it when people were talking about it.
Yeah.
And that's like what changed his opinion about it.
It could be.
Who knows?
It could be, and we'll never know because he's claimed innocence until the day he died. Yeah. And the bunion. Can we talk about the bunion? Like, who would have thought? Like, headless, handless, no face, no fingerprints, but she had a bunion.
I actually, when we were talking about this, I was like, oh yeah, they don't take like footprints of people.
Right.
They take fingerprints of people, but they don't take like toe prints of people. So like there's no way to like identify people by your toes or your feet. It's always by your hands, which he cut off, which is probably why he did that. Is hoping that like they wouldn't identify her, probably. Right. Yeah. But like that's crazy to me that the bunion of all things.
It's unique to say the least. So the most seemingly mild-mannered individuals in our world can harbor darkness, right? And true justice sometimes relies on a series of incredibly fortunate, truly unbelievable breaks. But through it all, we remember Dorothy Eggers. I'm not condoning cheating on your spouse here, right? But that's not even like a confirmed thing. There's no like direct evidence. Arthur saw what he saw.
Hearsay.
Yeah.
And did Arthur actually see what he saw?
Right.
Or was that just like a story because of what people were saying?
And regardless, even if your spouse is cheating on you, they don't deserve to die.
Or be dismembered.
Like, you are not the justice system. So you don't get to decide who gets
You
executed.
should just get a divorce.
Right.
Or go to counseling.
It is, I say this all the time, it is amazing what people will do to avoid divorce. Like, Jesus.
Just separate. Go to counseling. Go to therapy. Just move away.
So Dorothy, her life was tragically cut short, but her story, thanks to those who pursued justice, is not forgotten. Despite the focus on the gruesome details of the crime and Arthur's astounding ineptitude, the purpose of recounting this story is to honor Dorothy's memory and ensure that her life and its tragic end are acknowledged. That is the whole point of this podcast all the time, and I try and funnel everything through that filter. So I hope I did that here today.
I really enjoyed this.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Me too.
I really enjoyed this, and I've never been on a podcast before, so
Well, I'm glad
I
to be
loved
the
it.
first. I am like truly honored that you
I'm no
took the
longer a
time out.
podcast virgin anymore.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all of my listeners for listening. Follow us on Instagram. Give us that 5-star rating on your streaming platform. Stay safe, stay spooky, and for the love of all that is holy, don't try and cover up a crime by selling your blood-stained car to a cop. Lastly, please remember, friends don't let friends commit crimes. Bye!